Hagen from the garden. It's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. Well, this week is the week for my biggest market of the year, and I am so excited. If you've been watching my videos for quite some time, you have heard me talk about my biggest market of the year. In past years, you have seen me go to the biggest market of the year. Well, this is the week, so I am very busy with preparations. So this video is going to take you from start to finish, my harvesting, my prep for the market. I'm going to take you to the market and show you my booth, walk you around the market. It's going to be one big video. So first, I just want to very quickly tell you a little bit about the market, and then we're actually going to go out and get started harvesting. So the market that I'm going to is in Anthon, Iowa. It's a 2-day market, and it's called the Made and Found Midwest Market. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I will link their website down below. The market is made up of home growers, pickers, all handmade items. It cannot be any chain companies. There are nearly 90 vendors, plus food trucks, plus live music. It's all outdoors. It's 2 days, and it is so much fun. So this will be my 5th year, I think. I've been there since the beginning. I take large wrapped bouquets. I take jelly jar arrangements. I take pumpkins that I harvested, and this year, new, I'm making dried flower pumpkins, which I'll show you in this video. And then I'm also taking some succulent arrangements, which I'll show you what those look like as well. And when I reached out to contact them to ask them if it was okay if I bring some of these succulent arrangements, because they only have a certain amount of each vendor and they kind of curate what they accept, they emailed me back and said, we don't have a plant person this year. Bring all the house plants you want. So I'm also bringing house plants from the shop. So I'm really excited. Both ones that I have been growing that I have received and others that I have rooted in. So really excited for that. So this video is going to be one big video. It's going to take you through the whole process and show you the whole market. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go out to harvest. So this morning I am harvesting some mountain mint from over here. I need to get some mahogany splendor hibiscus and a few other things. I already have a lot of sunflowers in the cooler. I have a lot of status in the cooler. I need to harvest my zinnias, which you can see are right next to me. So there's a lot of work to do. So let's get moving. All right, so it's actually the next day. It is Thursday, which means it is the day before the market. And today is setup day. So this afternoon, I'm going to be traveling down to Anthon, which is about 25 minutes away. And my dad's going to help me. We're going to get the structure of my setup set up. I have two 10 by 10 tents. So I have a 10 by 20 space. We're taking all of the tables. We're going to put the stakes in, ratchet strap it down, take all the pumpkins. So that's this afternoon. It usually takes us a little less than an hour to get it all set up. We got a system down now. But today I need to get all of my jelly jar arrangements put together. My goal is 60. Last year I sold 96, which you're probably thinking, Christina, why are you making less than you sold last year? Well, as you know, this year's garden wasn't the best. I have less flowers. I was able to run over to a flower friend yesterday and get a whole bunch from her. Thank goodness my sunflowers in the hoop house produced. But yeah, I'm making less jelly jar arrangements, maybe some more of the larger bouquets unless I take some of those away and make more of the jelly jar arrangements. But I have the dried flower pumpkins, which I'm going to show you. Those are at home, so that'll be later in this video when I kind of show you everything that I have. And then I also can take houseplants, and so I'm banking on the houseplants to make up some of that income. And I have come down with a head cold or something. I feel crappy. I would love to be laying under a blanket right now. I'm just so congested, but there's no time for that. So I'm medicated, I'm caffeinated, and I've got a lot to do. So I'm going to get all the flowers out that I'm going to be working with. I'll give you a tour of everything, and then I'm going to get started on those jelly jars because I have 4 hours till I have to head to Anthem. I want to see how many I can get done. So I'm going to get the flowers out of the cooler. Oh, first, I guess I can show you a couple of jars of zinnias next to me. These are all from my garden that was harvested yesterday. These are the shorter ones, which is while they're in the vase. These are Oklahoma yellow, and they're a very pretty gold color. This is going to add a really pretty pop of fall. And then I've got some more over here. I do have a little jar here of these echinacea seed pods, and then I grabbed some Cosmos, the greenery I thought would be a nice foliage. Then I've got this bucket of zinnias. This is from one of my flower friends. And then she gave me some fennel, which I think will be a really pretty, just like sparkly accent. And then I've got another big bucket of zinnias. These are all from my garden, harvested yesterday. This is my first big zinnia harvest of the season. Can you believe that? That's how crazy the garden has been this year. I'm hoping to go out and get some more today, but there were some that weren't quite ready. But these are beautiful. All right, now I'm going to get everything out of the cooler. Okay, so we're going to pop into the cooler. I want to leave the sunflowers in here, but I want to show them to you. All right, so I have 2 huge buckets of sunflowers. There's actually another one on the floor. These are the Pro Cut Orange. I think I have it a little bright in here. And this is the stage that I want to put them in the bouquets. Unfortunately, some of them are opening a little bit more. So I'm going to make sure that the bouquets have some that are halfway open and some that are more open. And then each jelly jar arrangement is getting a sunflower also. I've got some status on the bottom over here, a little bit of yarrow, and then I've got some more status over here. This is goldenrod, which is super pretty. I sourced some asters for another project, so they're just hanging out in here. And then I've got this bucket, whoa, that really zoomed in. I've got this bucket of Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus. There you can see the leaf structure really well. These are for my large bouquets. But then I've also got celosia from my hoop house. And then this is the blue glitter and white glitter. No, that's the sea holly. This is the Eryngium. Is that what it's called? I don't know. It's for my perennial area. There's like 10 stems in here, and I'm going to take advantage of that too. And I apologize that my room is an absolute complete disaster. Christmas arrived and there's boxes everywhere. I went ahead and picked some raspberry foliage, which I thought would be really pretty. And then this is Baptisia foliage. I thought that would be really pretty to tuck in there. And then down here, we've got purple status, a small bucket of white status that I harvested the end of the day yesterday. This is a beautiful bucket from my flower friend. There's marigolds, sedum, and more celosia in here. I've actually got some sedum outside of my own that I could harvest. I've got a big bucket of goldenrod. And then over here, this is all mountain mint, and I love to use mountain mint. I wish I would have had more, but it's the end of the season, but this will be a really pretty foliage to tuck in as well. All right, so I'm going to get my table organized. I'm going to do this assembly line style, I think 10 jars at a time. Then I can put them in the boxes for transport. That's the way I did it last year and worked really well. And once I start getting in the rhythm, I'll set it up and then kind of talk you through it and show you what I'm doing. All right, you guys, I am back from setting up in Anthem. It went really good. Well, almost really good. I got there. I had everything in my car except for the sides to my tent. So I had to drive all the way back to Holstein, get that one box, drive all the way back to Anthem, and it's like a 25-minute drive. But we got it done. I'll pop a couple pictures up on the screen. You can't really see much. I have a 10 by 20 booth space. So these are two 10 by 10 tents. We ratchet strap the corners and use the corkscrew stakes in the ground to hold them in place. And then I did snap this one random picture looking through the tent before I zipped it up. And my crates of pumpkins I use at the base of the sides just to hold them down in case there's any wind overnight. And actually, when I got the tent zipped up and pulled away in my car, a storm moved in. I don't think the winds were big or anything, but it's probably raining there right now, but everything's tucked in my tent really good. Basically what I have down there are the pumpkins, my tables, some crates, just some random things. And my tables are set up, but it gets so dewy. I have learned to take extra tablecloths and put them over the top of the things that I leave on the tables at night. That way the dew does not settle on them. So anyway, I'm back at the store. I got 50 jelly jar arrangements put together, and I've got a really good system going by now. So I'm finally going to set up the camera and show you. These are the jelly jars. I believe these are, they're 12 or 16 ounces. I get them off Amazon. I will link them down below. And then I just collect ribbon throughout the year that I see at like craft stores or Walmart if it's on sale. And then I use glue dots to fasten it around. And I just think that adds a little extra touch. I got this orange kind of velvet. Oh, I've got my laptop on. I'm waiting for the weather to come on. I want to see what it's going to do tomorrow. I've got this velvet ribbon, but it doesn't stick very well, but it sure is pretty. So anyway, the first thing I do is I put a little bit of flower food in each of the jars, and then I fill them with water, and then I'll kind of walk you through the process, but I get some pieces of statice cut up, and that kind of creates the beginning of my frog, and then I put all the flowers in from there. So first, let's put the flower food and the water in, and then I'll show you the progression of the flowers. I use statice, goldenrod, some filler, usually mountain mint, zinnias, sunflower, celosia. I've got some marigolds, asters, just a really good mix. So I've got packets of this Crisol Professional Flower Food, and I just put a little bit of it in each jar. These are such small jars. I don't really measure. I just kind of use one packet throughout the 10 jars, and that's it. Now I'm going to fill them up with water. All right, it's time to start putting these together. You guys also have a real good view of my real life back room right now. All these boxes, and I'm completely surrounded, are Christmas that has arrived for the storefront. I literally am sitting in just a little cubby hole in the midst of all of this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with is my statice, and I will zoom in to show you one up close in a little bit, but I kind of get an assembly line. Oops, that one's got a broken one. There's a broken one, I just clip it off. So I want some kind of going in each direction. And you don't have to be super picky with this. So I like a minimum of kind of 3 branches. And usually it takes about 3 full stems of statice for me to do all my jars, sometimes 4. All right, so you can see all of these have a little bit going kind of in triangle in 3 different directions. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in my filler, and I barely got any of this left, but I've got these stems of mountain mint, and some of them are branching, some of them are non-branching, and I'm just kind of putting one stem down in the, whoops, dropped it in there. One stem kind of down in the center. Now you'll notice this one's branching and kind of going all crazy directions. So I'm going to get rid of quite a bit of that. A lot of my mountain mint is falling over, and so it's not the most usable. But you know, that is a nice little stem. So I'm going to put that in a jar that doesn't have quite as much statice. I probably will end up adding more statice to this jar because I've only got a couple branches in it, but I probably will do white or something. Okay, then I've got this goldenrod, and I have a ton of it. And I usually do all of these 10 at the same time, cut them the same length, and drop them in. But I just get a little stem like this and put that right in the center and see how much that jar is filling up. So now basically I've just got to put in some focal flowers. So a sunflower, 2 or 3 zinnias, celosia, and then I might add a few other things. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this going my assembly line style. I'll zoom in here and there for you guys, and then I want to show you the wrapped bouquets that I'm taking. Okay, so now I want to show you guys my wrap bouquets, and I've got everything kind of lined up in an assembly line. So first, I start with a really nice stem in the center of this Mahogany Splendor hibiscus. If you guys are not growing it, this is a must. It is so pretty, and I love it for fall. Then I am intertwining, kind of in between the leaves, 3 goldenrod, which is growing wild in our area right now. Then I've got 2 stems of asters, and then I'm going to put in 1 stem of statice, and then I'm going to add my sunflowers in. Now, the sunflowers, I'm having a little trouble with my cooler this week, and the first ones I harvested were opening a little bit. So I am putting 2 sunflowers towards the front that are a little more open, and then the ones that are not so open, I'm putting 3 of those kind of towards the back so that they get a mix of open and non-open, which the open will really snag their eye more when they walk by, but the non-open, of course, will make the bouquet last longer. And then after I put those in, I'm going to add in some more statice to flank it. And that is my bouquet. Very bright and cheerful, yet fall-like. So then from there, I'm just going to rubber band it, wrap it in craft paper, and it's going to go in the cooler. All right, there it is. So pretty. These are going in the cooler. All of these flowers are able to go in the cooler. My jelly jar arrangements I am not putting in the cooler because zinnias do not go in the cooler. They do not like it. So those are just hanging out here in the air condition, and they'll be fine till tomorrow. As far as how many I'm making, I have 10 of the big wrapped bouquets done so far. I'm going to make more of those. Last year when I looked back, I sold 17 large bouquets and 96 jelly jars. I think I mentioned that already. I've got 60 jelly jars made. I think I'm going to make at least 20 more, and maybe I'll just call that good and see what I have left for wrap bouquets. You know, I've got the houseplants, I've got the succulent arrangements, I've got the dried flower pumpkins, I've got all my pumpkins that are already down there. So I think the booth will be full. I'm just going to see how much I can get done with how many of these flowers. So I'm going to do that. And this video will probably continue in the morning. I'll show you everything that I have. We will load up, head to the market, and then I'll take you along for 2 days of the market. Good morning. It is market morning. I am so excited. So as you saw yesterday, I was getting everything prepped and ready to go. My structure is set up down there. So I am just at the buildings this morning, loading everything into my car. I want to leave in about 45 minutes or so, but I got 14 large bouquets done last night. I think that's okay for now. And then 80 of the jelly jar arrangements. I'm very happy with that. So now I just need to pack the car with all the arrangements. I'm going to see how many fit because I also need to take the houseplants, the dried flower pumpkins. So yeah, I'm going to load the car and then we will head down to the market to set up. It's going to be a beautiful day. Okay, my car is completely packed in. I don't know if you guys can see, but oh my gosh, I am full to the max. I'll put a picture up on the screen of all my flowers, but I'm hitting the road right on time at 9:30. I'm gonna get there a little before 10. That should give me 40 minutes to unload my car, move it to the parking spot, and then I'll have an hour and a half just to set the booth. So wish me luck. Okay, so I just pulled in for day 2 of the market. Day 1 was amazing. The weather was perfect. I actually think it was busier than last year. I'm really happy with sales. My allergies are crazy. My voice is scratchy, but it's time to open up the tent, set up for day 2, and I can't wait to see what it brings. I will give you a full recap at the end of this video. Just as we left it. So basically last night we put the sides up and enclosed everything in. So I just need to pull these front panels off, put the pumpkins back out, my sign, fill in with all my extra bouquets, and we'll be all set for today. Well, it's a few days after the market and I feel like I am finally recovered. Oh my goodness, that was the best market yet. So this was year 5 of that market and it just keeps getting better and better every year. My friend Lena, who helped me work the booth a lot this weekend, we both agreed that was the most people on a Saturday that we have ever seen there. And I don't even think the footage does it justice. It was packed. So I just kind of want to go through a rundown of exactly what I had in my booth, what I sold, and then when I'm done going through this, I'm going to put up a bunch of pictures on the screen of details of my booth because I didn't really get good video footage with my GoPro. So Stick around till the very end of this video. There's only a couple minutes left, I swear. And then you'll be able to see a lot of pictures of everything that was in the booth. So again, my booth was a 10 by 20 layout. That's what I have done for the past few years, and that works absolutely perfect for me. I use 3 6-foot tables and 1 4-foot table, and I took 80 jelly jars, sold them all. I took 14 large bouquets, sold all but one, which is at home on my kitchen table, which is really nice to at least bring one thing home. I took 110 small to medium sized pumpkins. I think I at least sold half. I didn't really count. They're in crates behind the store, but I think I at least sold half of those. I took maybe 75 to 80 mini pumpkins. The dark colored pumpkins did not sell very well. The white, yellow and orange stripe, white and orange stripe, orange ones, those all pretty much sold out. So I already have notes for next year, which I think is really handy right after the market when it's fresh in your mind. It's really good to make notes and then just put them in the folder away for next year, because in all that time that spans in between, you're going to do so many projects and you're going to forget the particulars. And so I have a lot of notes for next year, but that's what sold for me for the mini pumpkins. As far as the small to medium pumpkins that sold, white ones sold, the winter luxury, which are the orange with kind of the cantaloupe texture netting look, those went really well. The mauvish pumpkins all sold. My yellow and orange stripe ones did not sell as well. However, those are our school colors. I'm going to put them out this week for homecoming and say that they're homecoming colors. So I think that will be good to decorate. I made 20 dried flower pumpkins, sold out, mostly on the first day. So I know to make more of those for next year. I took 8 little potted succulents, sold a few, 5 succulent arrangements, didn't sell any of those. Maybe that's not a thing anymore. So I might not take the time to make those next year. I had a couple air plants and ceramic pots left. Those went right away. I took about 50 house plants initially. Later in the afternoon on the first day, I had Lena bring more. And then the next morning on the second day, I brought even more. So the house plants went like crazy. And I am really excited that they have already told me that I can bring all the house plants that I want for next year. So that was really great. So my booth for next year can be half-cut flowers, pumpkins, and then house plants. So that is just great news. Sales were way up this year, I think because of the house plants, but because there were way more people. And all around, I am really, really happy. So if you're still watching, I hope you really enjoyed this video. If I saw you in my booth, thank you for coming. Thank you for purchasing. Supporting small businesses and supporting this market really, really helps all of us vendors. So thank you. And now here is a brief slideshow of pictures of my booth. And as always, stay tuned for a lot more this gardening season. We will see you in the next video. Enjoy the photos.